What's going on, folks? I am bringing you another ladder replay. This time it's gonna be a ZVZ. I know not everybody's favorite matchup, but I try to treat all matchups equally here. So this is gonna be once again a ZVZ between the Red Zerg DanDiamond and yours truly, BubblyFrog. So Dan here doing an extractor trick. I think it's been proven that that's not really worth it. You're better off droning up to 13, making an overlord, droning back up to 14. But it's very insignificant. It doesn't really put you terribly behind or anything like that. Now, doing it again is Dan. Interesting. So he is choosing to delay his first overlord quite a lot. Not really sure why, but okay, that's cool. As we see, he went, what was that, like a 14 or 15 hatchery, and then he's doing it again. This guy is out of control. Somebody, whose man's is this? And so hatchery first, pool, no gas from Mr. Diamond. Now over here on my side, I didn't talk about it, but you might have noticed that my first drone was late. I don't know why. I thought I pressed the button, but didn't. I wasn't feeling too hot about that, but I just went forward with my normal hatch first build. The 16 hatch, 18 pool. 18 gas, 17 pool. And sometimes you do 17, and I think honestly in ZVZ you probably better off doing 17. But in the other matchups, you typically go for 16 because your opponent might block it with their worker. Anyways, Danny boy over here does have his pool up a little bit earlier because he went hatch then pool. And his gas gonna be a little bit later, as we do see I've already got speed on the way. And Dan, he's got 2 scouting lings coming my way. I've got 4 lings. So I don't know. I think 4 is greater than 2. Yeah, it looks like that's gonna be enough to fend him off. Other than that, everything else pretty equal, as we see here. 23 workers. They're both at 30 supply. Now I just popped ahead 32, but then he pops back up 35. That's kind of the story of ZVZ. It's pretty even, and then one player or the other decides to get a little bit more in one department, and then we kind of just go from there. Anyways, my 4 lings, gonna split them off, 2 in the natural, 2 in the main. I do get 1 drone, that's already pretty worth. And the 2 up here, just kind of getting a scout off. And this map, Stargazers, it is kind of a funny one because you do have this weird in-base base, but it is blocked by some minerals, so you do have to mine them out. And DanDiamond here already working on that. And I saw him doing that and I thought, hey, that's a pretty good idea, let me do that too. So gonna send some drones here to mine that out. My ling here got another kill, so 4 lings got 2 drone kills. That is pretty worth. It's also worth pointing out that that base is blocked off by some minerals here. 40 minerals on each patch. So it does take some time to mine those out. But if you do have a very direct path into your opponent's base. Something we might want to keep an eye on. Looks like both of us have mined that out now. And I do get it down first. So, small little victory there, and I'm making a big round of lings. 8 lings, not too big, but trying to be a little dramatic here as I cast this game. Make that 16, so that's a decent amount. But DanDiamond, he's got a hatchery in his wall, and he's sealed up pretty good over here. This ling bane attack that I'm planning, not really going to do a whole lot. And it looks like we are going to transition into a later game. Now, despite this huge Ling investment, I am still up ahead in workers, 35. It was 30 a second ago, but now it's even once again. That's the story of ZVZ. And here I go, more from some Banelings. And keep in mind, I don't know what he has over here, so as far as I'm aware, this is open. I did scout that hatchery, I guess. I didn't even notice. And DanDiamond going for a relatively quick layer. And 13 more drones. He's feeling pretty safe here. And yeah, as he should be. This is a very secure little wall he has here. And so recognizing that this attack ain't gonna do nothing, I go back into droning. But my opponent does have a pretty big lead in that department because he's just been droning like a madman. He's getting safety spores. That's kind of weird because you see all these Lings, a lot invested in here. Probably not going to have mutas anytime soon. But he can afford it. He's got a lot of drones. He's got a lot of income currently. Third base getting started here. Doesn't really have the mineral saturation yet. And I don't really know what to do with these Lings. Just running them in, try to burn some of that transfuse energy. I don't know what to do with these guys. Probably a wasteful move, but whatever. Now, DanDiamond going for a very fast Hydra Den as well as an infestation pit. I went for a Roach Warren and not really getting any roaches. Now, I suspect he's like turtling up to mutas, so I get some defensive spores of my own. I probably should have just waited for a scout here, but this overlord kind of went the wrong way. Can't morph it into an overseer anymore, so I just got to get 9 defensive spores. A little bit overkill in retrospect, but better safe than sorry, I suppose. Now, Dan, he is going for lurkers. That's what he's been rushing up to. That's what he's been turtling up on. And honestly, I hate this kind of style so much. It doesn't apply to just Zerg players, but like Protoss players who turtle up to Sky Toss, Terran players who turtle up to late game mech. And I'm guilty of that myself because I suck with Terran. And finally, I get an Overseer into the base of DanDiamond. I spot that lurker den. Overseer goes down, but it did its job. Just needed that scout. So I'm like, wait, what do I do now? I've got 16 roaches. They were already on the way before I got that scout. Throw down a Hydralisk den of my own. And I want to apply some pressure with these roaches. Maybe they can bust this wall before lurkers get out. Otherwise, we'll be playing a long game. And a long game in ZVZ is just so draining. And so here we go. My handful of roaches. Hopefully, we can get some damage done while I tech up to lurkers of my own. Thought I was blocking the ramp there, so I canceled that, but kind of think that would have been fine. Anyways, teching up to lurkers, getting an infestation pit, because I do want to get that hive. And here's this roach attack. Gonna see what I can see, but yeah, he's got lurkers already. Not really gonna be able to accomplish a lot with these roaches. But I'm gonna keep trying. I'm gonna, well, first get a handful of Hydras, get some Overseers, and morph in some Ravagers. Ravager Biles, they can be very effective in blasting out those lurkers, so maybe I can try to find some damage there. Now, Dan did break down that hatchery. I feel like he should have went for the evolution chamber instead, because you could always keep that hatchery as a macro hatch. Try to drop some biles. I do get, I think, like 1 or 2 Hydras there, but he was pretty quick on the cancel. Now, I do get a cancel on this 4th base of Dan. And I spot those Lings running across, but what do I have to defend? Not a whole lot, just a handful of Hydras. They are not fast enough. And these Lings gonna start working away at my own 4th base. Is he gonna get it? The Hydras and 2 queens show up, but he's right-clicking on the hatchery, and I do have to cancel, unfortunately, so that's tit for tat there. But I do replace it slightly ahead of him, who hasn't replaced it yet. So another tiny victory there. My opponent has 69 workers. Nice. And I only have 64. And now Dan, I'm trying to get his 4th base back up and running. He's still got a few larvae out here. That's kind of funny. Now I'm just sharking around with my Roach Ravager once again, but Dan, pretty good on the defense. He's got lurkers securing his perimeter. He's throwing down spore crawlers. That, of course, will help if I bring in overseers to try to spot the lurkers. So Dan, very annoying playstyle, like I said, just turtling up to the max, and not really sure what the plan is here for him. Like, how is he gonna try to close the show? I guess we'll have to wait and see, but I've droned up pretty madly myself, up to 89. That might be a little too much for this matchup, but if we're going into a turtley late game, it's probably fine. And these lurkers, these Ravagers, just doing what they can, getting a spore here or there, forcing him to remake that. And Dan trying to get up his 4th base that is going to finish shortly. Mine is up and running, and I'm going to throw down some static D. And looks like we are just settling in here. Dan, he does have his hive already. He's got Vipers on the way. Well, they're already out, but their energy is on the way, rather. And got some evolution chambers, I guess, just for sucking up energy. I'm not really a huge fan of this. If you're at your base anyways, just suck the energy off the extractors, a little bit on your other buildings. Just don't kill them. Of course, it is a good move to put like forward evolution chambers if you're trying to be very aggressive, but right here, that's kind of pointless to me. And my Ravagers just trying to see what they can find, trying to drop some biles. Dan really good with the unburrow micro there. Very cute little moves by DanDiamond. And things still pretty even on both sides. Dan himself has droned up pretty heavily to 94. Our army count pretty even. I misplaced an overseer here. Gonna lose that to these queens. I'm trying to send a Ling counterattack. Looks like that should be able to take out this base. Dan does cancel. Good job by him, and the rest of these Lings just going to get chewed up by these lurker spines. And then these Lings. Oh, didn't even get the extractor. Probably had it on an attack move or something. Ravagers still in play, but I do want to trade these out eventually. They don't really have much use anymore. They do have a good number of kills, these guys, so they've done something in this game. Creep spread pretty good on my side. Dan is working on his now, and I've got lurkers of my own. I've got these upgrades on the way, getting the adaptive talons, so I likely already have the spines. Yep, I do. And Dan also has the Hydra upgrades, but I don't think he has any Hydras, does he? Oh, never mind. He has 7. Yeah, I can count. Not too useful Hydras at this point, but I guess they can be okay to take out overseers. Not a terrible move. I opted to not get those upgrades. I didn't think I would be using Hydras at all. I don't think I have any Hydras here. And I'm going for my, what is this, 5th base? Yeah. Dan also, he's getting it at this location. That's fine as well. Now that is up and running. And, oh, look at this. One cheeky little lurker making his way downtown. And 2 of my Lings were actually chasing him, but they gave up, I guess. So this lurker gonna, oh, just secure this gold base. I wasn't planning on taking it anyways. Ravagers still trying to see what they can find, but not a whole lot. Dan being very defensive with these lurkers. Upgrade wise, he's got 2-1, I've got 1-1, so he's slightly ahead there. I've got 2-2 on the way, he's got 3-2 on the way. And once again with the unburrow, very nice job by DanDiamond there. One lurker harassed. That was that boy protecting the gold. He made his way over to my 5th base. So I send a whole bunch of lurkers to dispatch of that one. Does pepper up my lurkers a little bit. But they can heal. They've got regenerative carapace? I don't know. There's no real in-game term for that, I think. Got a handful of lings here. Not really sure why. I guess they're just checking out this base. Can't really run them in because there's way too many lurkers. This is so annoying. Oh, we are going to run them in. And exactly. Yep, yep. Right into the meat grinder. These Ravagers have finally exhausted their use. And we see that 7 Hydra hit squad from Dan. Just going to try to clear up some of my creep tumors. Now, you might be wondering, why do you want to clear up creep in a ZVZ? Because it benefits both players. Well, the creep tumors themselves provide vision, so you don't want your opponent to have vision. And yeah, that's why you clean it up if you can. Not a huge priority, of course. And now it looks like BubblyFrog is making moves. All my lurkers out here in the middle of the map. Got 4 of these Vipers as well. No, that was 5. I can count. Just gonna shoo away those Hydras. Didn't even get a single one. Not really sure what to do. Looking at this now, I should probably try to yoink in some of his lurkers slowly and patiently. But Dan, he's got Vipers of his own, drops a parasitic bomb on my Vipers, and I do the same onto his. Actually miss and hit the Overseer. So Dan kind of getting the better of that exchange. We are once again dropping bombs on each other, and not sure who's getting the better of that. Looks like Dan is probably gonna win that exchange. He does have Corruptors as well, so these Vipers have nowhere to run. I do lose all the Vipers. Oh no. And I don't think he lost any Vipers of his own, so that went pretty atrociously for me. As we take a look at the units lost. A lot more lost for the blue player, BubblyFrog. And yeah, that's brutal. 6 Vipers lost to 0. We both lost 1 lurker. That's a pretty rough sight. Anyways, I'm kind of deterred now. Don't really want to move in again. We're just gonna macro up and get a bunch of bases. Did I mention how annoying this style is? Dan now getting this bottom base. And I am getting a greater spire. So that is one thing that may perhaps change the tune of this game. Now, Broodlords, not that good in ZVZ, to be honest, because Vipers can just yoink them and they are way too slow to escape. But in certain scenarios, they could be good. And we'll see if they do anything this game. Dan does have more workers, so he has a slightly better economy. However, that means his army is slightly weaker. So we do see that discrepancy there. Dan's bank, pretty enormous, 16,000 minerals and almost 8,000 gas. And we've just got a few Corruptors with his Vipers. Just patrolling the map, cleaning up Overlords, trying to see what they can see, but they can't really do much on their own. And he's at the bottom, so I bring my army here, but there's really not much to do. And I've got my own Corruptors now, dropping my own parasitic bombs. Not too good there, but end up splitting. He doesn't split too good, so he loses a little bit more there. But still, it's kind of fine. Hydra's on the way, trying to... Wait, no. Oh, he could have picked off a few of my Vipers there, but he was making his way somewhere else. And my Viper's chasing really far. Drops another parasitic bomb, and doesn't really do a whole lot. These Hydras, looks like they are finally going to go down. No, not all of them, actually. And Dan, he's getting his +3 Carapace, which was slower than my own. That's kind of weird, because he was ahead in upgrades earlier. Not going to be a big deal, because he's going to have that before any fight ever happens. I am getting my air upgrades as well. I do have 4 Big Daddy Broodlords. He is trying to harass with a handful of lurkers. Cast a Blinding Cloud, but doesn't save whatever building that was. Doesn't matter, didn't need that anyways. Broodlords try to defend, but they don't do anything. Corruptors show up to try to deal with my Broodlords, but they get pushed back by Parasitic Bomb. And this is just a positioning game at this point. Who has the better army control, who has the better patience. And here we go, big move out here. I recognize he probably doesn't have all his lurkers in one spot, so I'm gonna move all my lurkers into one spot. Take out this base. It's a very decisive move. I do lose a handful of lurkers there, but I take out the base. I've got a big bank, so I'm not terribly worried, but if I knew how much he had, I might have been a little bit worried. And I'm just trying to get out of dodge here, burrowing just 2 lurkers to slow down his pursuit. End up losing 1, but the rest of my lurkers get away. And Dan making his way up. Looks like he might be thinking of an attack here. But the problem with this defensive, hyper-defensive style is that he is leaving so much of his army back at home. Hold that thought. It's a huge fight here. Abducts on both sides, blinding clouds on both sides. But it looks like I do get the much better end of that deal. And now we both remax, but his supply dipped down to like 150 something. So it was quite a bit better for myself. As if we take a look at the resources lost, it has evened up a bit here. And now my corruptors, just gonna take out his corruptors, maybe take out some overseers, maybe chase these vipers, but no, they're not doing anything. Big squad of units here for the counterattack, but not moving in is Dan, and that's kind of a mistake. Instead, I go in for an attack on his, I don't even know what base this is anymore. Gonna take that out as well. And Dan, instead of going for the counterattack, I feel like that would have been the better choice. He runs all the way back, and now this position kind of working against him. He can't reasonably engage into this until he like blankets my entire army with blinding clouds. So he's kind of stuck here, and I've got a handful of lurkers here protecting this location. He can't even make it back into his base, so I am going to take out all the important buildings in his main base. Down goes the lurker den, down goes the hydra den. Gonna get the hive as well, and he restarts a layer down here at the gold, but did not remake his hydra den. So he's not gonna have any more hydras or lurkers for a while, except for these 13 that are just popping out now. And I'm going to take this base out as well. He still cannot reasonably make his way back into the main. So this is a very big move here from myself, BubblyFrog, and Dan still with this huge army here. Not really sure what to do with it. He didn't have overseers, I guess, so he didn't feel confident to move into this location that is secured by lurkers. I do bring a few extra lurkers here, but they need a burrow. They do burrow, but it's a little too much here from Dan. He is going to take out this base and all the lurkers, but not before suffering some heavy losses to this Hydra army of his and single lurker. Meanwhile, I'm still just shredding up his base. Main base is completely dead. This pocket base, pretty much dead. Still holding this position here, but he has no reason to go back in there anymore. And I do clean up this location, but no, there's a lurker here and I don't have vision. Is he going to get this base? That would be unfortunate. But at this point, I have taken a pretty sizable lead. Dan has so much money, but he can't spend it. He has no tech. All he has is a pool. He's trying to get his Hydra Den up. And that's such a disaster for Dan. Big move here at the north, though. Burrowing lurkers, taking out yet another base of mine. So we are both down to effectively no bases. Actually, Dan has this one down here and the gold, so scratch that. Dan with the income. I do not have any, but the army just absolutely massive for myself. Dan just got that Hydra Den back up and it is going down once again. He has not dropped a replacement lurker den either, so this is all he has to work with right now. Gonna clean up the lurkers here, but he has lost yet another 2 bases, and all he has left is this gold base. He's got a ton of money, but he can't spend it, and that is absolutely brutal. All gonna come down to whether or not I can close this out with what I have. And what is that? Take a look at the units. 4 Broodlords, 25 Lurkers, 2 Vipers. All Dan has is 12 Hydras and 6 Lurkers. And 2 little Vipers here. So this should be a pretty easy end game here as we take a look at the supplies. 190 to 77. And running in Lings, that's not going to be too good against these Hydras and Lurkers. They all just march to their deaths. Pretty wasteful there, but that's totally fine. I've got more where that came from. Dan says, F you. I say GG. And there you have it. That's a 27-minute, long late game ZVZ.